My journey through rotator cuff surgery. Wow, let's talk about that. Yes, I am still in my bed. I am 4 weeks out from the surgery, and let me tell you things that they did not tell you. Let's start with number one. You will definitely need someone with you the day of surgery, and perhaps a couple of weeks later as well. Well, I'm 4 weeks in, and I still actually need somebody. I still need additional assistance. So, things that they did not tell you about rotator cuff surgery. Number one, first day after surgery, I was given a block, right? I wasn't quite sure what that was, didn't understand it. I guess somebody realized that I wasn't using it, so they gave me a call and said, hey, when the pain starts, press the button. And the block was set to go off every 4 hours, I think. But you could press it, when the pain came. Um, Number two, things that you'll need help with that you're not even aware of, i.e., before rotator cuff surgery, please prepare yourself. Get all the things that you may need at the grocery store for yourself, all your little. We all have our little things that we like, so I would suggest stacking up on all the little bitty things that you like. Food, toiletries, um, i.e., nobody told me after rotator cuff surgery, from the day of surgery up until my first follow up visit, which was 8 days later, I was not allowed to take a bath. I could not remove the bandages. I could not take the sling off until after I had my first appointment. After I had my very first appointment, then the nurse helped me take the sling off, and they removed the stitches. I would have to say that I think that I am 60, and so I'm thinking for me they took the stitches out a little bit too quick. I probably needed a couple of additional days. Nevertheless, that didn't happen, but I think I would have. Bleeding. For whatever the reason was, I am discovering that I am a bleeder, and that anytime I have any kind of work, that I'm probably gonna bleed a little bit more than the average person. I'm just learning this, and so you want to make sure you stock up with gauze and bandages, right? Although they said once they took the stitches out to just leave the wound open, because I was bleeding so bad, I needed to put additional gauze on, and so we did, and that went on for another 5 or 6 days. And so, next thing I'm going to talk about is being able to go to the restroom. You want to make sure that with the surgery, if you're a man or a woman, you want to make sure that whatever your sleepwear is something that kind of buttons up. Something that buttons up or something that pulls over your head. Preferably something that buttons up so that you can have access to be able to put one arm in and the other one out. And if you're anything like me, I want to change my pajamas every day and sometimes twice a day. Depending on how soiled they got, then I did change them a couple of times a day. So you want to make sure you are stocked up on your pajamas, and you want to make sure that whatever you're using is buttoned down. So that's part one. Number two, trying to just do something basic as brushing your teeth. I was right-handed, and the surgery was on my right hand, so that was a little bit challenging. I learned to use my left hand a little bit more in this journey, and I used my left hand to brush my teeth. But the biggest one, I think, the biggest struggle is just being able to go to the bathroom as a woman, and not being able to take care of my own private parts myself, if you read what I mean. So that part was challenging in itself. I think the next thing I would say, if you're a woman, I don't know if this applies to men very much, put your hair in a protective style if you're an African American woman, and if you're a Caucasian woman, just get you some braids or something, because you are not going to be able to comb your own hair. I have not been able to comb my own hair. I got a cap on tonight. And so that's something else, knowing that you will not be able to use your arm. Your arm is not going to raise up for you to be able to comb your own hair. You just can't raise your arm to comb your hair. Or even put deodorant on too. So that's another one. Not being able to put deodorant on because the way my surgery was, I just have not had the strength in my hands to be able to do that. And like I said, I'm 4 weeks out. I think the other biggest thing that I will talk about, driving. You're going to have somebody to drive you for at least 6 weeks if you want to follow the doctor's orders. I personally, because of my age, want to follow the doctor's orders. So I have not been behind the wheel of my car in 4 weeks, going into my fifth week. And so I've relied on my husband to do all that other kind of stuff for me, and he's been fantastic. The other part of that is physical therapy will start. Mine started 9 days after surgery, and so in the physical therapy, I will say that for me as a woman, I needed razorback T-shirts so that the physical therapist could work with the shoulder, and that shoulder was available. Like the first day I went, I wasn't dressed appropriately for what was happening, and for me, I needed to be comfortable, but also giving her access to my shoulder to be able to do what needs to help. The other part of it is I do the exercises at home that are required. Oh, third thing. This is a big one, I think, because what I realized after talking to the physical therapist that I was the only one patient that they've had do this. So after surgery, the doctor recommended a cryo machine. It is made by Briggs, BREG is the one that I have. Because we were in a pandemic, I had to buy the shoulder part of it, and I leased the the machine itself. But what I want to say is, I think that machine has made a totally difference in my quality of life and my care using it, because it puts water into you put it's ice and water in a almost looks like a little cooler with a tubing in it, and you put it on, and that water just circulates, and I think that it has helped a whole lot with the bruising, because my skin color, I bruised extremely bad, like really, really bad. I bruised from this surgery. Just the bruising was just horrible to me. But I think that with using the cryo machine, it helped with the pain, and it helped with some of the bruising and my skin coming back to color. I can't show it to you. I wish I could, but I'm not taking my arm out the sling tonight. But I'd show you, you can see where my skin has started to come back to its own color 4 weeks later. So the cryo machine, although the lady, when she called me to tell me about it from the medical supply, and I kid you not, this is what the conversation was. She called me and said, "Hi, your doctor ordered this machine for you. Your insurance company is not going to pay for it, so just use an ice pack." And so I had to stop the lady and ask her, like, tell me more about what the machine is, right? So I just can't imagine how many people she told that same thing, that just use an ice pack instead of the machine. Well, the truth is, I've used the ice pack and the machine both, and I think that's why, because they were like, "You're moving too fast," but they have not had anybody that had actually used the machine that was suggested. So I'm the first one that the lady said. And so I would say that the machine has made a tremendous difference in my life. I use the machine, I set up for 2 or 3 hours a day, and I just let that machine run on my shoulder. And then at night, I put an ice pack on my shoulder for as long as I can stand. Usually it's about 10 or 15 minutes on my shoulder. And I use that to also help with the pain. I was prescribed pain medication. That is very, very true. The first medicine I was prescribed didn't. It just required me to take too much at one time. Every 2 hours I was taking the medicine, and to me that was a little bit too much. So I asked the doctor for something stronger. He ended up giving me oxycodone, and taking one of them actually lasted about 7 or 8 hours, as opposed to taking one medicine every 2 or 3 hours because of the pain. And so, and in between the oxycodone, I will be honest, I did not take oxycodone, although I could take it 4 times a day. I have not taken it 4 times a day. In between that, I've substituted the hydrocodone with the Tylenol arthritis over the counter. So I've tried to take more of that than the particular pain medication. That's my truth. just because of the way I feel about pain medication. I didn't say that I didn't take it. I've taken it less than what I should have. Uh, the other part about the pain medication is I think the first few days after surgery, we were taking the pain medicine consistently. You know, honestly, right after surgery, we were taking it consistently, even with that block. But the block came off 4 days after surgery. So I had surgery on a Wednesday. On Saturday, the block was taken off. And I would say I probably needed the pain medicine after the block more than before the block because the block was doing what it should be doing. And if I was hurting more, so I could just press the machine on the block and it helped, okay? Other things that you need to know about rotator cuff surgery. Um, I talked about the medication. You will not, if you're right-handed and you have right-handed surgery, you will not be able to cut up your own food. Somebody will have to do that for you. I was able to feed myself with my left hand, but like if we were eating meat or something, my husband did go ahead and cut it up for me, which made it easier for me to do. Um, I will other things I will say support. I was fortunate enough sleeping. Okay, that's it. I want to talk about the sleeping. Sleeping has been extremely challenging. If you can see in my video, I'm not trying to hide. Uh, uh, I have several pillows, and I was blessed to be able to have what do you call this bed? One of the beds that go up and down. And so I was able to elevate my head some, which made it easier for me to get a little bit more comfortable. But your sleep will never be the same from this rotator cuff surgery because you're tossing and turning, trying to find something that gets you comfortable. And I'm just gonna be honest, it's challenging. I think the thing that helped me is when the physical therapist told me to put a pillow up under the arm with my right arm, which is where the surgery is, to help support the sling that's on because you have to like sleep in the sling. I don't know if y'all can see the sling, but wait a minute. Okay, that's the sling. I was trying to show y'all the sling, but you have to sleep. Sling is like your new best friend. It goes into you and everywhere you go. So you're sleeping in the sling, and I did really well up until a couple of days ago. Yesterday actually, where I didn't wear my sling all day like I was supposed to. But today I got right back on track and put it right back on, okay? Because let me tell you, this gonna let you know you're doing the wrong thing. Uh, the other issue that I've found that I'm having a lot of is muscle spasms. I've reached out to both doctors about it. I guess they don't think nothing of it because neither one of them has responded. They responded, but they didn't respond. But muscle spasms. You know, so my extra question is, what is it you can do for muscle spasms? Well, it says put ice on it and heat. So last night I was having them really bad, so I got my heat thing and put it on, and then after the heat I put my ice pack. You know, and I continued to leave the ice pack on for a while until the pain started to get better and the spasms slowly decreased. This is my video about rotator cuff surgery because I could never find anybody. I didn't find a video that just gave me plain, like, down to earth information of what to expect and what was next. What I do understand is this is a 6 to 9 month process. Like I said, I'm in week 4. I'm in my 4th week of physical therapy as well. You know, so I did the physical therapy. I'm going to the appointments like I should. I'm practicing my exercises at home. I think that makes a difference. But the other part of that, I think it's my willingness too. Is I'm willing to do the work it takes to have my life back. And so that's kind of about it that I could think about the things that I would love for people to know about rotator cuff surgery that they don't tell you. And so hopefully this was helpful. Thank you and have a great evening. Good night.